Hi, thanks for joining me on Wilderness with Amani. I've had a couple solid weeks on rivers for Wilderness with Amani Patreon. I got like a 5-pound rainbow in the East Carson. And then yesterday I used some of my PTO to take the Sunday off to watch football, but I hit the Truckee before for my Patreon and I got like an 18-inch brown. And I got it using a new tactic that I'm gonna be trying here today. And I use these big flies with this big cone on it, and I cast it with my spinning rod. And it's good for close quarters, and I can let it linger, and I nailed a big brown on it. I'm gonna see if I can replicate this. I'm at the West Walker River today, and I'm gonna try to get my YouTube viewers a little bit of action. What I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna be battling some ice today. And there's a lot of ice up in the canyon. And it's gonna make for some interesting fishing. Now, no matter how good a pool looks, I gotta be careful today. And I'm probably gonna be jumping from hole to hole, stretch to stretch, using my car, because I want to limit the amount I'm walking around on these ice-covered rocks along the side of the stream. The water's not so rushing that I feel that if I fall in, I'm gonna die or anything, but it definitely looks like if I fall in, I'm done fishing for the day. I got dry clothes, but not enough to overcome this. So let's use caution and let's try to catch some fish. Let's get it on. Today's gonna be a lot of situational fishing because I'm starting with my jig. I got a good pull for it there, but that's not gonna work everywhere because there's the added element of this ice and snow is just it's gonna make things a little tricky. When you get to the river closer to Walker, it doesn't look as good as far as the types of pulls I need for jig fishing, but I have other things besides jigs today. California doesn't call for single barbless, so I threw a small barbless Panther Martin in my box. I got a barbless needlefish, I got those flies, and I got jigs of 2 different sizes. So hopefully I can get things going. And this water's really clear and there's ice floating in it. So today is gonna have some challenges. But I'm always good for some challenges. Right off the bat, I wanna try to swim my jig on both sides of this boulder past those ice shelves and hopefully, see, I got it right to the edge of that ice shelf. So hopefully there's something in there. I've never caught a fish in this hole. But it is what it is. And I dropped that thing right where it needed to be. And nothing. So getting into the water is safer than this ice sheet stuff. But I want to get a cast in front of that big boulder right there. I lost a good fish here in one of my clips. Whoa! Ice in a river is never a picnic. It's not ideal. I'm not gonna lie to you. Let's get it up into that white water. Beautiful cast. Beautiful cast, but no fish. I kind of want to go up there and fish a couple pulls, I know, but that looks just treacherous to go across, so I'm gonna go back to my car, I think, and drive down and find something a little safer. I'm in a nice free zone now, but man, it is really hard to sneak up on this smaller water because you're coming in on this high bank. And I just got a feeling I'm spooking everything before I can even get to it. I've downsized to this 1/16 ounce jig. I don't have the deliberate control in the faster water I have with the 1/8 ounce, but it's got a much softer entry point. And I could leave it in that zone or a second longer. But I haven't had anything. I haven't seen anything. Try to get a little closer. I'm already too close. Haven't had a lot of good opportunities today, but this one's a good one, so I got to make the most of it. Nothing. Darn it. Finally hooked something, and that thing is jumping all over the place. It's not huge, but it's a fish, and I'll take anything because it's been tough. It's been rough going. Whew. All right, he's nice and fired up now. I let him relax in the net. Got some good air going through him, and I got another brown, West Walker brown. And I don't get a lot of browns in here. It's a good, nice West Walker brown. I'll definitely take that fish, man. It's been slow, and I've been really working it. Let's get him back in there. Woo, he's shot back out there. He's right back out there. And I'm not getting anything. I've been fishing that fly. I fished a 1/16 ounce jig, looked really good. And I haven't, there's not, the flow is down from the last time I was here. I fished here for Patreon like 4 or 5 weeks ago, and I got 2 big rainbows. And I was fishing 1/8 ounce jigs, but there was a lot more water. And with this guy, I took this right across and swam it right through that fast white water. We'll see if there's anything else in there ready to bite. I'm gonna wrap it up. It's iced up over where I like to fish, where there's deeper pools and I can get my jigs going. I tied on this panther martin and I was gonna walk and fish this shallow stuff, but the water's so clear. The only two signs of fish I saw before I hooked that brown were 2 fish that I creeped up to these decent pools and they just darted. I mean, I don't even know how they saw me. I came up behind like a tree and a giant rock, and they were still gone. But that was a nice brown, man. That was like the last good pull I know of, and I was gonna go drive down and just fish the flat stuff. But what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna wrap up this session. I wore tennis shoes today, but now that I have this solid pair of backup boots, I bought myself a new pair of Rocky boots for Christmas that have the black rubber around the front and the back, which are better for the granite and stuff that I do. These boots are probably better for duck hunting. So, and being in marshy areas. And so they got all torn up. But they're killer to have in my car so that if I want to take my waders off when it gets too hot, I can, and that's what I did. And that was like the last stop. I just went down there, threw that jig, I tied that jig on, and it was just boom. You know, I barely fished an 1/8 ounce jig up there because it was just, the water wasn't right. I was fishing that fly, I was fishing a 1/16 ounce jig, and I was fishing this panther martin, and I wasn't getting nothing. No bumps, no follows, no nothing. So I'm surprised that I nailed that nice brown right there in the West Walker. Thank you for joining me on Wilderness with Amani. Until next time.